Perform the indicated operation and express the result as a simplified complex number. Now, when I look at these, I see a 4 plus 7i times a 5 minus I. And if those i's had been x's or n's or a's or b's, you know, I'd be like, FOIL, FOIL, FOIL. Well, it's no different here. You're going to FOIL, except the variable I is never used as a variable because I actually represents the square root of -1, which is actually an undefined answer. If you put it in your calculator and try to take the square root of -1, your calculator goes, ee! You know, gives you an error message. That's because it's not a real number. It's an imaginary number. But I'm still going to FOIL this. So FOIL, remember FOIL, F stands for first. So first times first, 4 times 5 is 20. And then O is outside, so I'm going to multiply my 4 at this end times my -I. That's a negative invisible 1i. So that would be -4i. Then you do your insides, which is the 7i. That's actually a positive 7i times a positive 5. So that's a positive 35i. And then you do last, which is a positive 7i, times last, which is a -1i, and that's a -7i squared. Now, the thing about the I squared, and I'm going to come back over here, if I equals the square root of -1, and if you were to, for some reason, square both sides, which, because it has an equal sign there, it's an equation, and there's that old rule that says, whatever you do to one side, you can do whatever you want, as long as you do it to the other side. So let's say we just decide to square the I and make it an I squared. Well, when you square, let me use my highlighter here, when you square a square root, they just cancel each other out. So all you're left with is the -1. I is imaginary, but I squared is real. Just like Pinocchio becoming a real boy, we just made the imaginary number a real number. Ooh. So over here, where I have -7i squared, that's really -7 times a -1. And a -7 times a -1 is actually a positive 7. And then in the middle here, these two guys are like terms. So -4i plus 35i is a positive 31i. And then that positive 7 that I got at the end there, let me grab another highlighter here. How about pink? This positive 7 and this 20, those are like terms also. So I can combine my 20, this 20, and this positive 7, that would be 27. And then, of course, I already combined the i's, so that would be a plus 31i. And when it's in a simplified complex number, complex numbers are always in the form of a plus bi. Never write 31i plus 27. That is not considered correct. The real part comes before the imaginary part. It's no different than your friends. You should put your real friends before your imaginary ones. It just works out better that way. So that's the answer, 27 plus 31i. And just because I like to, you know, get positive feedback from Mobius, what was it? 27 plus 31i. And just how did I do? And there I got the green. And then down here, this is one of those where you have to type in and explain how you got your answer. So pretty much everything I showed over here is what you should type in. And you can use colors and everything if you'd like. So have fun with that. And you can throw in some wordage too, you know, explain that you use the FOIL method and, you know, type that part out, but also show the work. Do both. The more you write, the better off you'll be grade-wise.